Galatians chapter 1. This is from Paul, an envoy who has been dispatched, not from humans, or by any human, but by Jesus, the Anointed One, and Almighty, the Father, who has awakened him from among the dead, and from all the brothers and sisters with me, to the groups of called ones in Galatia, central Turkey, also could include the districts of Lycaonia, Pisidia, and Phrygia. May favor and peace be yours from Almighty our Father, and the Master Jesus, the Anointed One, who has given himself for the things that we have done that are wrong, so that he might yank us out of the present wicked age, in accordance with what our Almighty and Father wants. And may Almighty be esteemed for the remaining ages, the present age and the last age of the ages. Let it be true, or let it be so. I am marveling that you are so quickly deserting the one who has called you in connection with the Anointed One's favor, to a different good message, which isn't really another, because there is only one good message. Only there are some who are disturbing you and want to distort the good message about the Anointed One. But even if ever I, or a messenger from heaven, should bring a good message to you that goes beyond the one that I have brought to you, a curse upon him. As I have declared previously, and am at this present time saying again, whoever is bringing you a good message that goes beyond the one that you have accepted, a curse upon him. Am I at this present time trying to persuade humans or Almighty for approval? Or am I seeking to please humans? If I were still trying to please humans, I wouldn't be a slave of the Anointed One. For I want to remind you, brothers and sisters, that the good message that was brought by me isn't according to human ways. For I didn't get it from a human, nor was I taught it, but I got it by means of a revelation from Jesus, the Anointed One. You have heard of my former behavior in Judaism, how I kept persecuting Almighty's group of called ones immensely, and kept bringing savage destruction upon it, and how I was progressing in Judaism beyond many of my contemporaries among my countrymen, since I was abundantly more enthusiastic for the traditions of my forefathers. Yet when Almighty, who had cut me off, even from my mother's belly, and called me through his favor, was delighted to reveal his Son to me, so that I might spread the good message about him among the pagans, I did not immediately submit it, the story of my calling, to a meeting with flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were dispatched envoys before me, but I went away into Arabia, Jordan and North Saudi Arabia, and then I returned again to Damascus, a city in North Arabia. Then 3 years later I went up to Jerusalem to relate my story to Cephas, or Peter, and I stayed on with him for 15 days. Yet I didn't become acquainted with any of the other dispatched envoys, except James, the brother of the Master. Now, what I am writing to you, notice, I say in Almighty's sight that I'm not lying. Then, after that, I went into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, southeast Turkey. Yet the groups of called ones in Judea that are in union with the Anointed One still didn't know me personally. Yet they kept hearing only that the person who was once persecuting us is now spreading the good message about the faith upon which he once kept bringing savage destruction. So they kept esteeming Almighty because of me. Galatians chapter 2. Then, 14 years later, I again went up to Jerusalem with Barnabas taking Titus along too. Now I went up under the guidance of a revelation, and submitted to them the good message that I am proclaiming among the pagans, yet privately to those who seemed to be somebody important, for fear that somehow I might be running or had run the race for nothing. But not even Titus, who was with me, although he was a non-Jew, was compelled to be circumcised. Yet the question of circumcising Titus, was because of the false teachers and sisters who had been smuggled in, who came in secretly to spy on our freedom that we have through our union with the Anointed One Jesus, with the intention of making slaves of us. But we didn't even for an hour give the image of being subservient to them, so that the truth of the good message might be continually with you. Now those who seemed to be somebody important, whatever they once were, is of no consequence to me. Almighty doesn't accept the surface appearance of a human and show favoritism. These who seemed to be somebody important submitted nothing new to me. On the contrary, when they noticed that I had been entrusted with the good message to those who are uncircumcised, the pagans, just as Peter has been with the good message to those who are circumcised, the Jews. For the one who had operated in Peter to make him an envoy who has been dispatched to those who are circumcised, has also operated in me to make me an envoy who has been dispatched to the pagans. And when they knew the favor that had been given to me, James, Cephas, or Peter, and John, who seemed to be pillars, gave Barnabas and me their right hands of acceptance as partners, agreeing that we should go to the pagans, yet they to those who are circumcised. They only asked us to remember the poor, the very thing that I have also been diligent to do. Now when Cephas, or Peter, came to Antioch, a city in northwest Syria, I stood up against him to his face, because he deserved to be criticized. For before certain people came from James, he was in the habit of eating love feasts with those who came from the pagans. Yet when they came, he began shrinking back and cutting himself off from them, because he was afraid of those who came from circumcision, Judaism. Then the rest of the Jews also joined in this hypocrisy with him, so that even Barnabas was carried away by their hypocrisy. But when I noticed that they weren't correct in their attitude towards the truth of the good message, I said to Cephas, or Peter, in front of them all, "If you are living like a pagan, and not like a Jew, even though you are inherently a Jew, why are you compelling the pagans to live like Jews? We who are Jews by nature, and not pagan wrongdoers, are aware that a human isn't justified on the basis of works of the law, but by means of faith in the Anointed One, Jesus. Even we, Jews, have put our faith in the Anointed One, Jesus, so that we might be justified on the basis of faith in the Anointed One, and not on the basis of works of the law, because no flesh at all will be justified on the basis of works of the law. Now if while we are seeking to be justified through union with the Anointed One, we Jews, ourselves, have also been found to be wrongdoers, therefore, is the Anointed One a dispenser of wrongdoing? May it not come to that. For if I am building these things up again that I have demolished, I am commending myself as a person who steps beyond the boundaries. For by means of the law I have become dead to the law, so that I might be alive to Almighty. I have been fastened to the stake together with the Anointed One, And it is no longer I who is living, but it is the Anointed One who is living in me. Now the life that I am now living in flesh, I live by faith in the Son of Almighty, who loved me and delivered himself over for me. I'm not going to reject Almighty's favor, for if being right and just before Almighty is by means of the law, therefore the Anointed One died for nothing.